Hey, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. So, ladies, I want to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to dating and relationships. And that elephant is sex. All right. So, a lot of times, women, they send me emails and I will look over the emails, and 9 times out of 10, the issue that they're having really has to do with sex. And usually it's an issue where she's not really having sex with the guy, or it's taking too long for the sex to happen, or the sex isn't happening enough, or the guy went on a date with her and he tried to get sexual with her and she wasn't really feeling it. So now he's, losing interest. So a lot of it is really about the sex. See, the thing is, if you understand how important sex is to a man and how that actually influences the way he's going to feel about you, when you're first dating this guy, if you understand this, you will actually have more successful relationships, right? See, a lot of coaches, they'll tell you stuff like, make him wait 90 days. And, if he really likes you, if he's really into you, he'll wait. And, a gentleman will, never want to have sex with you on the first date, or some craziness like that, right? But you have to understand that, sex is very important. See, the confusing part about this is that, sex won't necessarily keep a man around, right? But a man will definitely lose interest if there's no sex happening. So the thing is, you got to understand is that for a guy, what makes him really, know if he's feeling a woman, in most cases, is if there is some sort of sexual interest on the woman's part. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have sex, and I've talked about this before. Doesn't necessarily mean you meet a guy, you go on a date or something, and then you got to have sex with him that night, or you're at a party or at a club, you meet a guy, you got to have sex with him, right then and there. I'm not talking about that. All I'm talking about is that there needs to be sexual interest there, and there needs to be a progression of the sexual interest. So when you're dealing with a guy, let's say you are on a date with him, and there's, he's trying to go in for the kiss. And if you don't kiss him, he's going to think that, okay, this girl's not into me. And then that's going to make him lose interest. If you're with a guy and you're going on a first, second, third date, fourth date, and no sex has happened, he's going to be like, yo, what's going on with this? Like, I want to have some sex. Like, why are we not having sex? Right? And, the question you should ask yourself is, why are you not having sex with this guy? And see, a lot of times what happens is that, you might not have sex with him because, there's certain guys where you might still be sort of feeling them out, right? You're not too sure about this guy yet. You're not comfortable with him yet, and that's understandable, right? But what you got to understand is that there's a lot of times where, by you withholding that sex, that sexual interest, it's making the man lose interest. And so what a lot of women might do also is that they think that, okay, if I have sex with him, then he might, think I'm easy. He's going to think I'm a slut. He's going to think I'm a hoe. So I'm not going to have sex with him. I'm going to make him wait so that he can take me seriously, because I really like this guy. And I don't want him to just think this is a one night stand. I don't want him to think that, this is just a sexual thing, or it's just a hookup type of situation. Right. So what happens is that you are not having sex basically because you're trying to get a relationship, right? You're trying to withhold the sex because you think that's going to get you the man. Like he's going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to get to know you, and then I'm going to get to know you, and I'm going to start to like you. And then as I start to like you, I'm going to be emotionally attached to you, and then we can have sex, and then I'll stick around because now I'm emotionally attached to you. See, it doesn't work like that for men. Ladies, I'm going to tell you this, and most people are not going to tell you this, right? But a man needs to have sex with you. In most cases, of course, there's exceptions. But a man needs to have sex with you before he's going to be feeling all of those feelings that he should be feeling for you. Right? Now, why is that? Now, in today's, day and age, a lot of guys, when they date women or when they interact with women, they are on guard, meaning, they're trying to see if this woman really likes them. Is she just using me for attention? Is she just using me for my money because I'm taking her out on these dates? Is she playing me? Is she going to waste my time? Because as a man, I know that I want her sexually. I know that I am sexually interested in this woman, right? So the whole time what's happening is, before he's even thinking about, if he likes you on a whole deeper level, because, he might say, okay, yeah, she seems cool. I like her personality. She seems like a really cool person. But before he even, delves into that, he's wondering, when am I going to be having sex with this woman? Because the sex also is part of what he needs to investigate to see if he likes you. You understand? Because a guy, he can have sex with you and, it could be like the greatest thing ever to him. Oh my God, this is like the best sex I've ever had. Like, oh, she just feels so good. Everything's great. I'm really feeling this girl. Right? So imagine, you're a cool person. You're a nice person. You got a nice personality and the sex is on point. And now he's like, shit, I'm trying to make this girl my girl. I want her to be wifey, right? But he's not going to get to that point until he had the sex, because even though you were a cool person, since he didn't have sex yet, he's like, yeah, she's cool, but we didn't do it yet. So I'm not, my attention is not all the way there because I haven't had it yet, right? So, you can't just have I'm a cool person and a personality. That's all cool and fine. But he has to get the sense of the whole you. You understand? I always say, it's like if someone watches a preview to a movie. If you see a preview to a movie, which is about 2 to 3 minutes, you can't tell me you like the whole movie because you haven't seen the whole movie. What do you have to do? You have to watch the whole 2-hour movie to give me a full assessment if you like that movie or not. The same thing happens for when men are dealing with you. They have to get the entire experience, right? So you just having a nice personality is the preview. Now we need to get down to the sex. You see what I'm saying? But see, this is the hard part for a lot of you ladies. I understand is that you are saying, well, I don't want to have sex with this guy, and then he never calls me again, right? But see, what you got to understand is that is the cost of doing business. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that, there are going to be some guys you have sex with that you're never going to call again, or that he's never going to call you again, right? Because he just wasn't feeling it, or he didn't like you like that at, that much. You understand? So a lot of women ask me to say, how do I know if a guy just wants me for sex? And I say, well, you gotta have sex with them. There's no other way to know. Waiting for 90 days or waiting for all this time still doesn't indicate, because a guy could still wait, meaning he's having sex with other women as he's waiting for you to get ready. And then as you get ready to have sex with him, he has sex with you and he can still never call you again. See, the thing is, the sex isn't really the thing that keeps a guy around long term. A guy will stick around for a while to keep having sex with you for a little while, but it's not going to keep him long term. What keeps the guy long term is how you are overall. You understand? How your personality is overall. And in fact, your sexual interest and your sexual energy is part of the whole you. So by you cutting that off, he's not getting to see the whole you. And if he doesn't get to see the whole you, then guess what? He's not going to be feeling you So how is he going to want to get with you? How is he going to want to be in a relationship with you? How is he going to want to start something with you if he hasn't experienced the whole you yet? You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that, you got to understand that some of these guys that you have sex with, it's not going to go well. Meaning you're not going to see him again. Even if you're feeling him, he might be like, well, I changed my mind. It's the cost of doing business. Just like I tell all these guys out here, when, you go out, you meet a girl, you approach them, you take them on a date, and these guys may never see these women again. But that's the cost of doing business. They have to go through these things, they have to spend this money, they have to put out this energy, and at the cost of them maybe not seeing this woman again. The same thing applies for you. You have to interact with these guys, do all these different things at the cost of you may never see them again. But if you are dealing with a guy and, you're interested in him, he seems interested in you, y'all are interacting with each other, the chemistry is there, everything is flowing, and, you do actually have sex with him, he could be like, yo, I really like this chick and keep it moving. See, now the thing is, what you got to understand is this, and this will make it easier for you. Have sex because you want to have sex. Not necessarily, don't do it necessarily because you're trying to keep him. Because if you're having sex to try to keep the man, you're going to basically be disappointed. Because there are going to be some times when you have sex with this guy and he's not going to stick around. But if you're just having sex because you were horny, you were in the mood, you were really attracted to this guy sexually, you wanted to do it, then do it. And then after that, things will fall where they may. You understand? See, you got to get out this mindset of thinking that, a guy leaving you after he had sex with you is the end all be all. Because I'm sure if you're in your maybe late 20s, early 30s, even 40s, I'm sure you've had sex with a number of guys who, either y'all dated for a few months and fizzled out, or he never called you again and you had a one night stand, whatever it is. You've had sex with a bunch of guys and they're nowhere to be found now, and you are fine. You're fine. I'm sure you're healthy. You go to work, you eat, you sleep, everything is fine. You probably work out, everything is cool. You're fine. You understand? You're not dying at this moment because, Josh from last week, who you went out with and had sex with, didn't call you again. It's okay. But see, you got to get rid of this elephant in the room. In order for you to move on and to progress and actually make a real connection with a man. You understand? So, that's all I wanted to say for today. I got to keep it real with you ladies. But anyway, so make sure you ladies click the link below to hewantsyou.com and get my free audio program, 7 highly effective steps for finding and keeping a man. And I will talk to you later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone.